dream big. Dream bigger, but have a plan B. Larry Walters dreamed big when, as a teenager, he went to an Army-Navy surplus store and he saw inside these weather balloons. One was suspended from the ceiling, 8 feet long, yellow-brownish, but he saw gold. Not long after he left that store, he enlisted in the Air Force. Unfortunately, he found out that his eyesight was too poor to become a pilot. When he was discharged, he became a truck driver. And his favorite activity after a long haul was to pull out his lawn chair and just sit in his backyard and look up at the corridor of Long Beach Airport. He could see the planes ascending and descending, and that gave him his bigger dream. He wanted to be an inspirational speaker and go across the country motivating others. But he knew that he had to have a story, a signature story of adventure that would grab people's attention. And that brought him back to the balloons. Those could be his magic beans. He talked his girlfriend into going to get that balloon from the store, and they inflated it properly to 33 cubic feet of helium gas, and then set it into the air, moored so it wouldn't just escape. And he decided that what he would do is go back to the store, get as many balloons as he thought he needed, and produce an aircraft where he could go on his adventure. The tricky part, he said, was to have 4 tiers of those balloons and inflate them properly, and then get in that lawn chair and be lifted up into the sky. What he didn't count on is that one of the mooring lines tied to his Jeep was snagged on a sharp corner of the roof. Snap, and immediately the other 2 lines snap, snap. So his aircraft, which he had called Inspiration 1, suddenly operated like a rocket flying through the sky. It did not level off until 16,000 feet. He was drifting in that corridor of Long Beach Airport. A TWA pilot and a Delta pilot both saw, and the Delta pilot reported, there seems to be an unprotected man floating in the air on a chair. And it was getting cold up there. He had run out of beer and sandwiches, and he started popping some of those balloons with his BB gun. And then he dropped his BB gun 3 miles to the ground. He let loose some of the ballast, the milk jugs filled with water, and began slowly to descend. He saw the golf course of Long Beach and wanted to land on one of the soft greens. But he got tied up instead. His tethers tangled in a high voltage power line. The emergency crews came, cut off power to Long Beach for 20 minutes, and he was able to get down safely to the ground, into the welcoming arms of the LAPD that handcuffed him. And a reporter quoted him as saying, "A man can't just sit around." Johnny Carson welcomed him. David Letterman welcomed him. He was allowed to host a New York bar scene filled with lawn chairs. In the meantime, the FFA found all the violations and totaled $4,000 in fines. Said Larry, if the FFA had been at Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers would never have taken off. Things didn't go too well for Larry. He didn't get the speaking engagements he hoped to. His girlfriend of 15 years left him. The only endorsement he was paid for was a Timex watch on its adventure series. He decided he would hike one day to his favorite national park in Angeles, and having no plan B, he put a hole through his heart. Larry wanted to inspire, so let's be inspired to dream big, dream bigger, but mostly have a plan B.